alive.
So alive.
Woohoo!
We're living live.
We're living La Vida Loca. Sorry.
That's going to be it. That's the song.
I'm now realizing that I've already started this and I don't even have my notes up on the screen.
We don't need notes. Are we on?
Where we're going, we don't need
no
notes.
Notes.
Ole,
I
ole,
had
ole.
a Stargate dream recently.
Did you? Tell us.
It was one of those dreams that like there's no real ending to it. I was just there. But I don't think I was on the team. I was just watching the team, and Sam was really annoyed at someone. And that's all I can really tell you.
I am
dreaming in Stargate now.
I have had dreams where, like, the only Stargate thing about it is, like, randomly I'll go through, like, in order to go from one place to another, I've just gone through the Stargate. Yeah. It's just sitting there.
I like that idea.
Or, like, remember the episode where Daniel saw the Stargate when you opened the door to the cupboard thing?
Yeah.
That happens frequently.
I think I'm going to try to learn how to jump through. Like Ant-Man style, like when he jumps through a keyhole. Yeah. I'm going to jump through the Stargate and roll out standing on the other side.
You know what? You know Jack has, like, practiced that before.
He's like, why not? I'm bored of just walking.
Exactly.
I'm just kind of over it. Yeah.
He wants to be able to dive and then tumble and stand up and just continue walking.
And be like, this is fine. I was always like this.
This always happens.
This is always me.
Anything that we can think of for the visual people of the listening?
I want to note.
Yes.
That we have not done the D&D campaign yet.
No, people haven't noticed.
It is going to happen.
Yes.
I know. We've gotten behind schedule. It's going to happen. It's taking me a little bit longer time to sit down and understand the gameplay. I think I'm just very nervous to DM.
It's probably a combination of like being nervous to DM for your first time and trying to make the best scenario for it.
And also trying to like convert their system into a system that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
we aren't using their system.
Their system is I can't make sense of it. So I've called in my big guns. I've called in my favorite DM of all time.
Thankfully you live with him, so that makes it easier.
I've called in my boyfriend Jesse, and he's going to help me. He found a different system that will work out, so hopefully we can get to that sooner versus later.
Cool.
But maybe not in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, but it will happen.
Yes, it is happening. It is being worked on. It's gonna be It was a bigger bite than I thought it was.
Yeah. She has been working on it, and I've seen it. I've seen her working on it. And we are going to sort of streamline it because we're sort of going to not pre-pick the characters necessarily, but
I'll tell you this. Boyfriend Jesse and I have a vacation to Savannah, which we're really excited about. That's actually one of the few things we're taking to do in the room.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is sit there and figure that out.
That's awesome.
So, because nerds.
So yeah, we will.
We're also staying in a haunted hotel. It's going to be really cool.
Haunted stories. But yeah, we will have something that week. Don't worry that she will be gone for a weekend. But we'll have something.
We'll make it work.
Don't worry.
It's going to happen.
Make it work.
Okay. Are we ready?
I think we're ready for the actual recording. 137?
Yeah.
Alrighty. You ready?
Ready.
Welcome to episode 137 of There's No Place Like Terra, a Stargate First Watch Rewatch podcast. I am Nixie.
And I am not Nixie, I am Grace. Sorry, I'm trying to change it up today. And today we're going over season 7, episode 5, Revisions, aka always read the terms and conditions, or Under the Dome, or Baby Elephants.
Baby Elephants?
Baby Elephants.
That one I'm assuming is going to be explained later?
There's elephant think. It's the idea of elephant thinking.
Okay.
We'll get into.
I have 2. So we have lots of options. For I have 2, aka the ultimate indoor kids.
Yes.
Or aka Hell 9000.
I like that one too. Yeah. That's a good, and they all kind of revolve around the same theme.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the idea of baby elephants, which I want to share that because it's something that I use often in life.
Yeah.
So the idea of elephant thinking is there's this old story about how when they would train circus elephants as babies, they would stick a stick into the ground and tie them to it. As the elephant got older, they didn't change the size of the stick. The elephant just knew, I can't pull this stick out, so it stopped trying.
Oh, it's gotcha. Okay.
So it's the idea of elephant thinking. And so these the people in this episode get so stuck with like, I can't get rid of this.
Yeah.
That I have to live with it. Like we do the internet.
Like I was literally
like some of us with our phones.
I was literally about to grab my phone, but for once my phone is not within reach, guys.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So this idea that we think we can't live without certain things, or we have to exist a certain way, that we don't realize that we've always had the power to change.
I say that as I literally have a version of my phone on my wrist at all times at this point now, and I don't know what that
it's
says.
our reality, and it does mean there's definitely a message here that we can all take as much or as little as you want of it.
Yeah.
and ponder it however you will.
I will say this. Since speaking of the phone and the watch and the attachments to listen, I'm not going to deny that I am on my phone way more than I should.
I mean, we all are. Yeah. And it is our life. It is our lifeline to the outside world a lot of times.
Exactly.
These days. It's just how we exist.
So, but I did notice once I got my Apple Watch.
We say to people who are listening to us via this lifeline.
Exactly.
So we're not saying don't do it.
But no, what I was saying is I've had my Apple Watch for almost a year now.
Okay.
Because I got it for my birthday last year. And I did notice that after I got the watch, I was mindlessly picking up my phone less.
Yeah.
In that mindless, like, let's just see if there's any notifications on there, because I'm more reliant on knowing more.
And we all find what works best for us in that sense.
But I'm now on the beta for the new iOS download, and they now have a thing now that you can turn on or off, but I'm choosing to keep it on. That actually at the end of every week, it popped up early this morning, tells you the exact time that you have been looking at your phone and the exact time that it was spent on games, productivity, and social media.
Wow.
And it's awesome and slightly terrifying at the same time.
Yeah. And we all find what works best for us. I remember everyone's going to approach it differently and have a different amount that's appropriate and healthy for them.
Exactly.
I learned that when I had an Apple Watch, because I remember I had one early in, that my anxiety level just increased 1,000-fold, and I just felt like I was running away from it all the time.
Gotcha.
So I was like, this has to go.
Yeah,
because I clearly don't have the mindset to have it on me at all times.
And like I said, and I had the opposite, where I now have this technology, and you can easily compare this to the Link.
Yeah,
you can compare this Apple Watch. It's on my wrist. Is the first thing I put on in the morning, and is the last thing I take off at night. The only thing that I have on longer is my glasses.
Yeah. And full disclosure, I think another reason why it gave me anxiety is because I have enough robot parts.
You do have robot
parts. And I have to listen to those.
Yeah.
I can't ignore those.
Yeah.
So it just became another thing that I felt I had to listen to.
Again, this has almost been the opposite of me in terms of especially now, I actually got the fancier one that has the cell phone on it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't take my phone to the grocery store sometimes.
Kind of cool, yeah.
I go to the pool, and because it's waterproof, I leave my phone here.
I'm off leash.
Exactly, and so it actually has kept me from checking my phone as much.
Yeah.
Like, I sometimes forget what my phone is in the evening, but I still get text messages.
Yeah. Boy, that got deep real fast.
I know.
But no,
we have an episode somewhere in here.
It's a message. It's a small message. Yeah. I thought it was kind of cool, and I thought the idea of baby elephants or elephant thinking worked.
And yet we also...
And it sounds cute as fuck.
It is super cute. But we have a whole other topic that we touch on later. Like, the other pressing social commentary part of the episode of climate change as we get into it.
Yeah, seriously. This is an all-message episode. In fact, I was watching it thinking, this is a Doctor Who episode.
It's very Doctor Who-ish.
It's a very Doctor Who-ish episode, which, again, love this episode. Yeah. Definitely love this episode. Okay, let's get started.
Okay, let's get started. So this episode first aired on July 11th, 2003. Written by Joan Paul, directed by Martin Wood. And it stars, there's a couple guest stars. Tiffany Lindahl, who plays Ivala, is the hybrid on BSG. I think that's where most people would recognize her from. Okay. She's fantastic in this episode. She's just fantastic.
That show, no, that's not the show we've watched. No. I always confuse it with Babylon 5. Because that is a show that gets played a lot in our
very different
shows. They just have the same names. Like, not same, but similar.
Yeah.
The B names.
The B names.
Stuck with me. Because I'm an idiot.
I do, and I've said before, I want to go back and watch BSG, and maybe that's a thing that I do, and we'll make commentary on one of our social media things.
I would be interested.
No, we have other shows we need to get you.
I would be interested in all the things. I want to watch everything.
I know, but we need to get you to watch a couple episodes of Farscape, and then we still have to watch Sanctuary.
Oh, yes.
So we need to get back to if you have extra time after we watch an episode, to bounce back and forth between Sanctuary and Farscape.
We're going to do it.
Alrighty. So the other person, the far more important person to talk about, who is a guest star in this episode, is a face that is very familiar to a lot of people if you are a fan of sci-fi and a fan of Stargate, Mr. Christopher Heiderall, who I love you so much, and we're just going to flat out give you the Terra Award now because you basically deserve it for everything you do.
Who is that? Is that Palin?
It is Palin.
Okay.
And we see him again come Atlantis, which I cannot say in which shape or form.
In the shape of a pony.
He plays the pony on Atlantis.
It's probably a dolphin. I mean, it's Atlantis, right?
Well, why do you think I love Atlantis so much?
There is definitely a robot dolphin. Yes.
Can I tell you, when I found out,
Animagus.
I think yes, Christopher Heiderall plays the Animagus dolphin on Atlantis.
Can you imagine if your Animagus was a water animal, but you lived in like a landlocked state? You'd be like, well, how fucking useless is this?
I'm gonna go to all the pools.
Yeah.
That'd be sad. Anyway, so a lot of fans, and what you have actually previously seen him in is Sanctuary.
Yeah, I did recognize. I was like, his face feels familiar.
Yeah, well, in Sanctuary, you usually don't see his face.
Okay.
Because he plays the big man. He plays Bigfoot.
So, yeah, I still think his face looks familiar.
He plays Biggie.
Can't choose.
He played two roles in that. You saw his face as the druid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Which I think in the episodes that we've seen, you still only know him as that.
Okay.
He's also, if you've seen Hell on Wheels, he's the Swede.
That's what I know him from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the Swede on Hell on Wheels.
Because I kept thinking, is he from Deadwood? Is he from Deadwood, which is similar shows?
It's very similar. I need to. We just need to watch the last season of Hell on Wheels. And on Supernatural, he played Alistair for a couple episodes. On True Blood, he was Dieter. And in that vampire film series that I don't mention, he's in there as well. He also recently
plays a lot of vampires, it sounds like.
He was also recently on Outlander as well.
Oh, cool. He's got that face that just kind of sticks with you.
He has this amazing. He's strikingly tall. He has a striking face.
In fact, I am currently working on a character for a campaign called Vampire the Masquerade. I think he looks like Christopher Heiderall.
You know what? Christopher Heiderall.
Heiderall. Sorry. I'm there. I got it.
It's one of those where if someone else pronounces it wrong, then I'm going to pronounce it wrong. But
okay.
And also, apparently, this episode was filmed at Fantasy Garden World, which is a former amusement park in Richmond, British Columbia.
Okay, I was wondering, because I kept thinking, this looks like Epcot. Yeah. So that makes sense.
They didn't, build this set for the show.
Yeah, and then I thought, it also looks like Solvang, which is a little, Danish town. I think Danish in California. That looks like little amusement park towns.
So, and that's why there's so many gardens and everything here, is because there's a huge gardens on the property. I think part of it was torn down recently or something like this, but. So we start the episode in the control room. Daniel meets up with Sam. They have a MELP P3X289, and the atmosphere on that planet is shit.
Yeah, it looks pretty shit-tacular just when you look at it even.
It's not friendly. But as Daniel points out, there is a Stargate on the planet. So at some point, there must have been able to support life easily.
Yeah.
But weirdly, the only thing on the planet is one giant dome that's about 2 kilometers wide. They send the MELP right up to it. When it goes to touch it, the arm goes right
about a mile? What's 2 kilometers?
Well, 5 kilometers is 3.1 miles.
Okay, just kidding. I don't want to do this anymore.
I didn't do that math. I did math later, and I didn't do that math.
Okay, let's keep going.
It's
not that big.
It's not that big.
Yeah.
And right as it goes through, they see an image of a green parkland before they lose contact. So that's weird.
So the whole thing is weird, but I'll tell you that I completely did not realize for a second that what we were looking at is the fact that we went from Crazy Toxic Place into Green Place.
Yeah.
Because all I could look at was that statue, and I was like, what is that? Is it butts? Is it a like it looked like an old fat body?
Tina made it. It's just called. It's titled Butts.
Yeah, I was just like, I can't tell what this is.
I know you're really distracted.
I was so distracted.
It's very like brutalism sculpture.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't understand it, but I want to smack it.
I want to see if it jiggles. Also, the guy standing behind Major Sam, which, speaking of butts, it's kind of just like you see butt, is Major Wood.
Major Wood.
Major Wood.
Well, we also get a Deloise
Major
here,
Wood.
right?
No.
Oh, right. Okay. Later on. Just kidding.
I don't think we have a Deloise in this episode.
I thought we had a Deloise at the top. Am I crazy?
No, we have a Wood off the top.
That's what we saw off the top.
Yes.
I'm dumb.
Credits. So when we come back, SG-1 is already through the Stargate. We're skipping all the mission briefings because way too much to do on the planet in this episode.
They're like, this one's easy peasy.
Yeah. We have way much more episode to fit into this episode. Just get through the gate. They're in full hazmat gear.
I gotta say though, that as they go, Hammond does a thing I've never noticed before, but goes Hammond out.
Yeah.
Which felt a little bit like, I gotta poop. Because he never dismisses so disheveledly.
Are you through the gate? Good, because I gotta drop a deuce real bad.
So, Hammond out.
Is there a bathroom I can destroy?
Yes.
No one go into my private bathroom.
Yes, absolutely. We're totally off on it in no time at all. Probably because Hammond had to go to the bathroom and just rushed us out the door.
Yep. But their hazmat gear should be good for about 12 hours in this corrosive atmosphere, which is good. The dome is about 30 minutes away. So also the hazmats are really fun because all we need is voiceovers and the actors can have a day off while their doubles get some screen time. I don't know if it happened or not, but that's just in my head.
Like it.
When you have that amount of time.
Sure.
We know that Jack is getting less. Well, RDA is spending less time on set these days, so it naturally, I'm sure this was a day where if nothing else, RDA is now in that suit.
Right. So, well, I feel like that teal walk is so specific that I feel like I think Krista's in there.
Probably, who knows?
But we'll see.
So, when they get to the dome, do they just walk through it?
How do we?
Jack sticks his P90 in there.
Yeah, smart.
And it seems to do all right. So he heads through, and there's the Melp.
See, wouldn't you kick a rock through it first and move out of the way? So my worry would be that even through the P90, it's like getting electrocuted.
Yeah.
If you're holding something, you're gonna get electrocuted too.
And I guess the Melp didn't lose power as soon as it went through.
Yeah.
So it wasn't electrocuted as it went through.
Fair.
But Jack's also the person who's just gonna walk into a dome first,
into an outlet,
just to see what happens.
It does,
and see Sam would attach that fork to something and then send it through to get anyway. So
I like it.
The rest of the team follows him through soon, and the atmosphere on the other side is 100% good for humans.
Weird.
But there's at least a static.
You know what I mean? Oh no, don't take your. Okay, we're good.
But Teal'c checks the mouth, takes his hood off. It's fine.
Yeah.
So the dome must be blocking the signals back to Earth. And Sam is just nerding out.
Mm-hmm.
Just nerding out. This thing is permeable
immediately,
The thing is permeable to large solid objects, but won't allow the poisonous, corrosive atmosphere in, which is awesome.
She's like, how is it even doing these things?
Exactly. Yeah. So as they walk, they hear a sound, and it's some little kid. He looks like he's from a creepy film, and I wouldn't trust him, and I'd probably throw a stick at him or
this
something.
Part just made me wish that RDA had auditioned for Kindergarten Cop. Because his interchange with the kid is just because reasons.
It's
not a tumor.
It's very similar to how I would. Actually, no. I think how Teal'c interacts with the kid the whole thing is how I would be interacting with the kid.
It's what is this?
You're wrong.
Yeah, go away now.
But his name is Nevin, and Jack clearly watches Seinfeld. So they ask Nevin to take him to your father, but not before there's a bit of clothes exchange.
Well, yeah. Nevin's no slouch. This kid's first of all, who the hell are you?
Yeah.
He's a little Bart Simpson-ish.
He is.
Which may be what warmed RDA's heart, because we know he's a Simpsons fan.
He certainly is a Simpsons fan.
And, and this idea of training for suits, I gotta admire that kid's moxie.
He does have moxie.
Like, what's in it for me?
Well, also, it's like, you know that there haven't been visitors to this village in like hundreds of years, and you're seeing villagers for the first time. Like, how you wouldn't know how to not trust someone. You've never had. There's no stranger danger. Not trust them.
Yeah,
these kids are not taught stranger danger.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we see in the next scene Nevin proudly wearing Jack's hazmat gear and action cap.
Why not? Why not go whole hog?
Teal'c is carrying his gear.
Sure.
Which leads to the question.
Yeah.
Where is Daniel and Sam's gear?
So, yeah, you mentioned that, and and I was like, you're right. And then I did notice, though, they do have packs, but then I went, but wait a minute, they're the only two with packs. So if their gear's in the packs, then where the fuck is the food?
Yeah.
So, yeah, what did they just, like, stowed them away somewhere?
We see later, Teal'c and Jack get their gear back to go outside. Sam and Daniel we don't need to know where their gear is.
They just, like, chucked, yeah, you're right.
It's just hidden under a tree.
Yeah, they're like,
they just
won't need this anymore.
It in the melt. Because they don't need it later on in the episode.
They were so, like, laissez-faire about it. They're like, well, they don't need this anymore. It's like the minute you throw something away, you're like, crap, why did I do that?
I know. And I channel Sam also in this scene where she's like, we could have found this town without the kids.
Yeah, that is definitely a Nixie line. But I'd be like, you just wasted a perfectly good suit on a little bratty child.
Like, not understanding the fact that making friendly with the locals is good. She's just like, why do we need the kid? Can't we just leave him there? Like, there's only one road. We would have found town.
Yeah.
So, and again, another good thing, Jack has a soft spot for kids, which I have a hunch, thinking about it, he might be the only person on that team that's good with kids.
Yeah, I think Daniel is good with people in general, but something about children would be like, you're not fully formed, so you're not playing the games the way you're supposed to. Yes. You know what I mean?
Daniel would treat the kids like adults.
Yeah, like, I think he would be willing to engage, but then he'd be like, fuck, it's not doing what I want it to do.
And then Sam is the me in terms of, can you talk to me when you're older?
Yeah.
Just fuck off so you're older.
Yeah, yeah.
Like her own nieces and nephews, she's like, I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah, like, I think she loves them.
Yeah.
But it's not like, she's like, look, you're cool. Go do something fun. When I was your age, I did this fun thing. You want to talk about that fun thing? Cool.
Yeah.
Whereas Stu is just like, I have no time for anything that's not a warrior.
It's like, if you're not doing what I'm doing, I'm not going to get on the, no, I'm not going to, I'm not answering that toy phone.
If you want to play Legos up here, we can build a thing. Yeah. But I am not answering your
But also, you have to build the instructions.
Yeah.
I'm not answering your toy phone.
Yeah. Whereas I think I'd be on the Jack level.
Yeah, probably.
Mostly because I still kind of think like children. Where I'm like, somebody answer my toy phone that I'm playing with right now. I think I may have done that. And then to a boyfriend, Jesse. We bought Stormy a stuffed dog at IKEA. Best gift. Best thing we've ever done. Mostly because we wanted to see how we would react. It's the size of Kaylee. Yeah. It's a large stuffed dog. And we were like, is he going to yell at it? Is he going to get scared of it?
How is he going to react when he gets that puppy suit?
Right. Yeah. He loves it.
Does he?
He like literally hugs it and takes it everywhere.
That's adorable.
But so now we've started talking in the puppy's voice because we're insane. We're children. Which is why I think I would be like, oh, I'm on that Jack level. Let's play. Yeah. Pick up the phone. Hang on. I've got someone on call waiting.
Hello, this is Doug.
Yeah.
You have treats.
Yeah.
Be careful. There is dog outside.
Yeah.
I do not know his intentions.
Alert. Calling all dogs. Calling all dogs. This is the dog alert system.
So the village that they head to is idyllic. It's Epcot, basically. I mean, I'd live there in an instant.
Yeah.
And Nevin's father, Kendrick, is surprised, to say the least, to see visitors. They thought they were the only survivors. And everyone we see this little Cyberman implant on their temple. Again, if this was a Doctor Who episode, it would be actual Cybermen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
So
whereas at the end they kind of get a little Cyberman-y.
the simple AKA is the Cyberman episode.
I like that. That's our new AKA.
So when they go and talk to the council, as you'd expect, everyone is crowded around as if this was the Good Morning America set in the center of Times Square.
Yeah, they've all got signs.
Yeah,
they're gonna wait. They're gonna say hi to mom.
And because this has never happened before, and it's critical also to notice that there are 4 members on the council.
Yes.
One of which in the first instant looked like DeForest Kelley at first, but only in the first shot. When you see him later, he's not. But I always do a double take because it looks like DeForest Kelley.
I know that name. DeForest Kelley is also a sci-fi actor.
Yes, he was.
Try to remember the name and make you forget.
He's my second. He's third, tied for. He's in my top 3 of people of original series people.
I'll take it.
Which, speaking of original series, can we raise a glass for Nichelle Nichols, who has been recently diagnosed with dementia, and we hope that she continues to live long and prosper.
Yes,
because
dementia's a bitch, guys.
Also, she's like my original badass woman.
She is. She is an original. She was breaking barriers.
All the fucking
TV,
barriers. She was like, what goddamn glass ceiling?
Yeah, on TV, as a woman, as a black woman, a black woman kissing a white man, all of this shit, and she's just
looking goddamn motherfucking fierce in her miniskirt. And just
making it a thing that she did because that's what you do.
Because of course it's what I do.
Why wouldn't I?
Anyways,
dig it.
My other favorite, in case you're curious, is not a mystery. It's a certain, Scottish engineer. Shocker. So anyway, speaking of shocked, they're shocked that anyone could come from outside the dome, let alone from a planet 6,000 light years away, because that's Earth.
Right.
So the weird point comes when Daniel's trying to reference the Stargate. Everyone sort of pauses for a second.
Yeah.
And when they come to, they know the Gate of Magmar, discovered 365 years ago, and has significance in the worship of the goddess Morgane.
It's like, first of all, they all had to universally fart and then remember the information.
And it was taken from the ruins of Danann and displayed at the National Museum of History. And they know all this because they access the history database through the link, like in their Cybermen implants. And they can access it, they can access whatever they want, whenever they want. I'm pretty sure Apple is looking into jacking Surrey into our brains like that.
I mean, what is it, Google Glass?
Yeah.
This was kind of like a first little, attempt. I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah. As soon as you can, reference wiki articles on the Apple Watch, it's coming. So
it's going to be a nightmare for education.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I've mentioned, and that's a good thing. And that's, I think, subtly in a roundabout way referenced in this episode when at the end of it, Palin he's like, I can't do this without my link access, because he's never had to necessarily remember these things.
That hasn't had to work that muscle.
He hasn't had to work that muscle. He hasn't had to work in remembering, because if you need to know what year a painting was made in, you just reference it. You don't have to remember it.
Yeah.
It is one of those positives and negatives.
Absolutely.
It's nice that thing is handy and you can reference it whatever you want, but what do you lose when you don't have to remember it?
It's got to become this thing of you have to build a foundation first.
Yes. It's like Picasso. He could draw the most realistic things on Earth, but he had to master that before he could take it apart and do cubism.
Sure. It's like everything else in life. Learn it, throw it all away, and then go out into the world.
Exactly. And I've mentioned the Morgane before because we saw her in that Gould huddle chowing down on Gould soup.
Okay, yeah.
So I was talking about her in that episode.
Yeah.
So when we get back to the Melp, Teal'c has a great idea. Extend the arm of the Melp through the dome, call Earth.
Yeah.
Works perfectly. They tell Hammond that the planet isn't dead. The locals are odd but friendly.
It's like reaching out for signal, right?
Yeah. Just reach the Melp high enough.
Yeah.
The top of the mountain. They're going to stay here for the night, and Sam's going to nerd out in the morning. And the camera shot of just Jack's face that Hammond sees.
Again, it's like these quick Hammond moments. I'm concerned for Hammond. I think he's got a stomach bug that he's not sharing with us. He's just like, okay, I'm feeling okay right now. Am I sweating? No. Okay. Calm now.
But yeah, Also, reminder, everything in this episode takes place in basically a day and a half.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he's got a stomach bug.
Well, okay, I was more referencing on the other side of the planet takes place in a day and a half.
I know. But I do love when they call back and it's Jack in the mouth. It's the most adorably weird looking setup.
Yeah.
And then to add to it, Jack's energy is very specific. Like that. Loud and clear, sir.
Yeah.
It's like, when have we ever seen Jack this gung ho? You know what I mean?
Every other episode.
Yeah.
So, dinner.
Like, I feel like he recently got talked to about being not peppy enough, or being too
laissez-faire,
or maybe even like pessimistic in missions.
Jack, pessimistic?
Yeah.
Never. So, dinner later at the Kendricks' house with Jack and Teal'c is amusing.
Yes.
He brings out bowls for Jack and Teal'c, and they look at each other's bowl and exchange.
Yeah.
Why? What is different?
What could be different? Yeah, one of them had less vegetables than the other.
That's actually what I'm thinking. I'm thinking one had more meat and one had less vegetables, and I think Teal'c would take the one with more vegetables, and Jack would take the one with more meat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The only thing I'm guessing. And then comes...
Or maybe like someone's food is touching each other less than someone else's, and one of them cares about it more than others.
Yeah, something.
But I'm more like obsessed with like the cute ass like green melamine plates that they have, and I'm like, I want those. Where do I get those?
You know, it'd be perfect in those, some blue milk.
Oh, that would be really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig it.
And then comes the conversation of my nightmares. Is the kid like, how many planets have you been to?
Yeah.
Has it been more than 10? Is it more than 20? Is it more than 30?
Well, it's like,
is it more than 40?
The minute you get into any counting battle with a child, you've lost. Because if I remember correctly, because I was once a child, believe it or don't, there is nothing more fun than seeing how high you can count. I will admit, I was that kid who was like, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to start at 1, and we're just going to keep going until we either forget what we're doing, or forget what numbers are, or have to go pee, or find some other exciting thing to do.
Forget what numbers are?
Like, you're just like, 70. What's that?
Banana!
Yeah. That's kind of what happens. But I was that kid where I would just be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, until a million, if I could. And I was like, one day I'm going to get there.
One day I'll get to 1 million.
Yeah.
And Jack is like, is it too late to pitch a tent? Also the other visual thing that in this moment I love more than anything else is Teal'c's napkin bib.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just this episode is just great. It's got all the details.
Teal'c tucks his napkin into his shirt like a bib.
Yeah. Everyone's having so much fun this episode. Everyone, including this child who's never been here before.
So meanwhile, it looks like
this child named Teal'c, named Chris Judd.
It looks like Sam and Daniel have had a slightly easier dinner. Much more conversation, at least.
It's a far more adult dinner.
It's a far more... Guess which dinner I would like to be at. So the whole dome is self-sufficient. They've always had enough food. They get power from geothermal vents under the town. And Ivala is super proud that Palin is one of the technicians that makes the whole thing work. And they live a very simple life despite their advanced technology, because technology is what destroyed their world. Mm-hmm. With the industrial growth, it poisoned the air and the water, and there was disease and starvation. So a choice was made, and Daniel's like, sounds familiar.
Oh, there. You know what this episode is? It's WALL-E.
Yes, it's WALL-E, but with less cute robots.
Yeah. Done.
Hopefully we don't find ourselves.
The Melp is pretty cute.
The Melp is pretty cute. He is very WALL-E-like. Yeah. He's like WALL-E's older brother.
There you go. Yeah. Done.
But we also learn when we, in 50 years, make ourselves a biodome, we learn not to give it such Ravenclaw principles.
Right. Look, the link is the Matrix.
Yes.
We're going to kill the Earth, and they get sucked into the Matrix. The end. Bye.
Done.
Yeah.
So Ivala offers her link to Daniel so that he can learn all the historical books on file, and Daniel's like, oh,
I want those.
Sam just kind of smacks his hand going, no.
Yeah. It's like, sorry, Danielle, you don't get to try the fun thing that's gonna kill you probably. Remember the time that someone ate pizza and almost died? How about don't stick the random foreign object on your head?
And Sam does have a very logical, good point. We don't know if it's going to fuck with our brains.
No, she, I feel like she thinks of just that on the spot.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, she's like, I've gotten shit attached to my head before.
Yeah.
It does not go well.
And
we've dealt with foreign objects in the past, and they don't always work well for us.
And Daniel kind of hands it back with a very like
this kind of would have been worth it.
I don't, okay.
Yeah, it's like, did you forget already what it's like to be on an SG team? You weren't ascended that long. You dum-dum.
Yeah. So elsewhere, the woman on the council gets up at night from her bed, packs a suitcase, leaves the house, turns a corner, and goes through the barrier. What were you thinking at that point when you saw that?
I did not understand. So I thought it was some sort of secret portal. I know. I get that. Because here's why. Here's what threw me off. The briefcase.
Yeah, I know. She does pack everything she has.
She packs all of her stuff. Whereas if it was just sending her on a suicide mission, why wouldn't it just walk her through?
And it does, like, part of you is like, well, that makes sense if they're erasing her from everyone's memory. But at the same time, the Link has such control of the memories, it could just be someone else's clothes.
Right.
So
that's the part that threw me. Because I was like, well, she seems to be leaving with a different purpose.
And we don't see Yavala leaving with a suitcase or anything else.
She just kind of walks off screen. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that was the part that threw me. So, which maybe was their whole point.
That's to say, maybe that's why she packed the suitcase.
Yeah, maybe that was the whole point. But it's weird. It's this idea of like one being told to pack a suitcase and the other just being like, yeah, you're good now.
Yeah. Back at Kendrick's house, Nevin is just creepily standing over Jack as he sleeps.
Yeah.
In the suit, and Jack greets himself in Munchkin form because he's like, "I'm Jack O'Neill."
Yeah,
and I'd be like,
"What?
Fuck off!"
Yeah.
And he heads off for his homeschool, lock himself into Matrix classes.
Yeah.
And he wants to be an explorer when he grows up, which is super depressing given the situation.
It's very adorable, but yeah, it's a little depressing.
And it's depressing because Sam and Palin are discussing how no one has been outside the dome in over 400 years since the dome was created. And all that's left of the great cities that used to be on the planet are rubble.
Yeah.
And we see him.
We all live in this fishbowl, basically. Yeah.
And they chuck this rock through. He chucks a rock through the wall of the dome that's right in the middle of town, which you'd wonder why they build the town on the side of the dome. Huh.
Weird how that happened.
Weird. Maybe you'd build it in the center originally.
Or something. Yeah.
Unless it was just off center. So Palin takes Sam down to the underground control room for the dome, and it's a completely different style from above. You can clearly see
where the technology was. Yeah. And where
all the So for Daniel,
I'm just gonna own that.
If he doesn't want to use the link, the only option he has is the sad, pitiful, dusty library.
Well, I feel like, for Daniel, he's like, he might have had a little bit of a Woody, like a semi.
Yeah, he definitely had a chubby.
He's like, challenge accepted.
And this place is clearly not taken care of anymore because they don't need books, she says. And I'm like, huh?
That hurt.
That hurts.
This just hurts to hear.
Because even if you don't need quote unquote books, sitting with a coffee and a book is
books are good things. Books. I feel like we're probably preaching to
choir. There's always going to be need for books.
Yeah.
I have both of our houses have very large libraries.
Yeah.
Is understatement of the century.
Yeah. Yeah, that's putting it mildly.
So
when I come over and I go, "Hey Nixie, do you have this?" and you go, "I did." I can tell you that it's somewhere, but I don't know where. That's when we know we have a lot of books. Because we've done the same where I'm like, "Yes, but where is it?"
And it's because it's lost in our library.
Yeah.
Because when I moved, I haven't undergone organizing my Dewey Decimal System yet. And I need to. But The books are all covered with dust and left from the old world.
Oh.
And Daniel has seen writing very similar to this before, so they're going to start translating. And I can only assume if this place was Morgan's territory, that this is some sort of ancient Celtic-y type.
Oh, that makes sense.
Type language.
I do want to say, though, that Daniel's, like, flirt game came back to him real easily.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I can do it with your help.
And I'm like, married woman.
Yeah. I don't think that stopped him before.
No, well, here's the thing. I don't think he's flirting for reasons.
No,
I think he's just like
flirt.
He's just a flirt.
That's
it's a friendly
like,
flirt.
It's not. I listen to Dax Shepard's podcast a lot. He goes, I flirt with men, women, married, single. There's just something in me that wants to be liked.
Exactly.
I think that's where Daniel is.
It is. Like, listen, like, there is two different types of flirt. It's
absolutely healthy.
I take this. Okay. One is when most people say flirt in types of like it's hitting on someone.
There's flirting and there's hitting on someone with motivation.
Yes. Flirting is just kind of being charismatic and nice to someone.
Yeah. And having some sense of presence.
Exactly. So.
Whereas the other stuff is you've got an ulterior motive.
Yes.
Whereas in the beginning, that was what I thought Daniel was. Yeah. And as I meet Daniel and as I know him now, it's like, oh, he's just a flirt.
Yeah.
He's just what he is.
He's just a flirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the control room, Palin is showing Sam around, and as he goes to check the coolant pressure, the screens on everything go black. Some matrix coding comes up, and Palin freezes, which is not normal.
No, people don't just... What was I saying?
In the library, Ivala has frozen as well. And then suddenly, as soon as it comes, everything is normal again.
Uh-huh.
For both Palin and Ivala at the same time. And Palin says the screen, Sam's like, the screens were filled with code, and Palin's like, well, that's impossible. The displays always show the status of specific systems.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, no, I understand what I saw. And Palin's like, well, you must be mistaken.
Oh, the anger.
Oh.
The flash of anger behind Sam's eyes.
Yeah.
Because don't tell Sam she's wrong.
Oh,
but she knows she's not wrong.
Exactly.
And all these other places, it's like, oh no, I am not wrong, and you're gonna learn.
Yes.
You go learn.
So you go learn.
Yeah.
So as SG-1 meets in the park, Sam is trying to rig up an interface so they can download some of the dome specs. And I love how the locals are like trying to nonchalantly, I'm gonna walk by here a couple times.
Yeah, yeah. Just gonna what's happening?
So they don't want anything in return for the information because they're completely happy in this bubble. It's been their home for generations. And Teal'c wisely says that sometimes there's more to life than mere survival.
But this is what they know.
But they can at least offer relocation.
Yeah.
But probably not going to go very far. SG-1 meets up and offers relocation to the council. And they're at least just putting it out there as an option. And the council is extremely skeptical. They can...
Omnious. Sorry. That's my go-to word when I can't pronounce things, is the fact that ominous is not pronounced omnious.
Omnious.
Sorry, I'm done.
They get to experience all fresh water and fresh air and mountains and all that outdoor shit through their virtual reality link. VR is just like being there, right? Indoor kids. But there's no space to grow here. Although it is their home. And Jack wonders if they speak for everyone.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, they do.
Sure do. The council speaks for the whole town. And
because
the council's...
guess what? The council is being spoken for by the machine.
Yes.
And the machine speaks for everyone.
Literally. And the council's decision is unanimous. And by the way, there is never a fourth member of this council. And there hasn't been a woman since the last election 2 years ago. Oh. You must be crazy. And Jack's like, come again for big fudge?
Yeah.
Also, you notice that there's no one looking in the windows this time at them.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit's a little weird.
So Sam meets up with the rest of the team in the town square. Palin agrees he has no memory of a fourth council member, but we just spoke to her yesterday.
Right.
And, maybe it's the link. It's the obvious option. There's some direct connection to the brain, and it's probably surprisingly easy to alter memories and perceptions. especially when you don't question them. Teal'c wonders if maybe she disagreed with them to get rid of her, which starts the whole trend this episode of Teal'c just not trusting anyone and assuming the most non-trustworthy interferee option.
Oh yeah, always assume the worst option. Yes. Yeah, assume the worst option, which you can't blame them.
No.
As weird as things are happening here, you're like, something bad and someone's in charge of it.
Exactly.
Because Teal'c's history, it's not something, it's usually someone.
Yep. Some snake.
So, which snake is here?
Yeah.
What? Why are snake here?
And it does seem a bit harsh erasing someone from existence.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the ultimate punishment.
Well, that's what hell does.
Yeah. But it's very sort of, like, at first I want to go very Minority Report-ish, and I know it's very different from Minority Report because that's sort of the pre-COG thing.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, that's the type of dystopian future where if you commit a crime, you just get your entire existence erased.
Yeah.
Your memory wiped and everyone's else memory wiped.
That's the thing, and that's always the fear with machines, that we don't input emotion or thinking contextually or thinking within, that we inject machines with this idea of like black and white, ones and zeros, and that's that they can't feel emotion. But I think that's the fear.
Yeah.
That's the fear.
For sure.
When you rely on machines to do things, they were going to do things the way machines are expected
to. We've touched on it again. It goes down of, it's basically, that's the Ravenclaw Dark Lord.
Yeah. It's like, look, that's what the algorithm says.
The most logical thing.
That's what we do.
Yeah. So,
that's great. That is what a Ravenclaw Dark Lord.
That's the Ravenclaw Dark Lord. It's like, this is the most logical
Thanos
thing.
Is a Ravenclaw.
Thanos is 100% a Ravenclaw.
A Ravenclaw Dark Lord. Yeah. Holy shit.
Thanos is 100% a Ravenclaw.
I love that.
He's like, but I'm doing this for the betterment of humanity, and you guys are going to be able to live this much better life, and it's a sacrifice that we have to make.
God, I love that analogy. Yeah. That's beautiful. Okay. Yeah. Cool, thank you.
So in the library, Daniel can't find much from the time that the dome was made, but he wouldn't because at that point the link was already in use and not much was written down. So Daniel asks her if you had a choice, if you had a chance to leave the dome and live somewhere else outside, would you? She's like, no.
She's like, I don't want to be where the people are. I don't want to see them dancing.
We have everything we need right here, which is almost word for word what the council said.
Right.
So
weird how when a thing tells you what to think, you think
it. So someday they hope that the poison will dissipate and they can live outside the dome again, but it's not going to be in their lifetimes. But sometime in the future, they do have population control here because each couple gets 2 children. And Daniel's like, well, what happens if someone wants more than 2 kids? Right. And she's like, I don't understand the question.
So here's my question that I pose to you.
Yeah.
Because there is lapses of time between these mind wipes. There is time that goes by before. Yes. So do they just wipe the people who get those thoughts? Does it just know? And it's like, these people are trying to think outside the box. Wipe them out.
It might be.
You know what I mean? Or is there just not enough time between wipes to even think of it?
So I do some math later on, and wipes happen very frequently.
They do? Okay.
But so my other thought is, I can see a culture, because it's not quite sort of, I know there's places in this world, I mean, China notoriously had the 1-child policy to bring their population down, but it's 2 kids. I can see if these were settlers who all signed up together and they're like, look, we legit, it's like survival mode that we have to keep our population steady. So I can see the idea that everyone sort of understands and plays by the rules. It's 2 kids.
That's what I mean, though. Like, I just think it's in human nature to want to think outside the rule, to be the one that pushes through.
Well, I can maybe see this. I can maybe see instead.
Because it's not even about children.
No.
You know what I mean?
But what I can see is it's like the 2 kids per couple in general rule. Whereas maybe if some couple didn't want kids,
So yeah.
Then one couple can petition to have an extra.
Sure, yeah.
Because it's just on it.
That bums me out more almost.
Yeah, and they don't, and it's not something that they even like realize was happening.
Don't get to fathom.
They didn't put that in the system in order to wipe out dissent. The link just took it over.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you wonder how early it was doing that. Was it controlling people long before it had to start decreasing its size?
Yeah.
There's 200 years before they had to start wiping people out.
Mm-hmm.
Was it still controlling everyone those first 200 years to make sure everyone lives simpatico?
That's interesting.
Yeah. So Daniel asks Zavala if... Oh, no, we already had that part.
Yeah.
Sorry. Right now, there are 1,373 people in the dome.
Huh.
And you can see her access the link for a second to get that number.
Yeah.
And I mean... And again, here's the thing. No one's ever tried to have more than two kids, so, like, it doesn't even know how you would... Like, she doesn't even understand the question, basically. Yeah. So back in the control room, they get their interface working, and Sam tries, like, persuading him to come check out Earth.
Yeah.
And Palin's, like, not really sure. There's oceans and deserts and rainforests. You could take a whole life to see them all, but he's like, I don't understand. Leave Dome.
Yeah, do not want.
And then we run across the twist in the episode. The power levels. The normal variation is between 0.01 and 0.07%, and right now these numbers are 2% lower than they were when they got here.
Mm-hmm.
And Palin's like, no, you're wrong.
I think this is where Sam snaps.
Yeah. And well, I think for a second she's like, let me quadruple check before I snap.
Sure, yeah.
And he checks them and he's looking right at them, and then he tries to mansplain to her that the measurements are
still
just
giving him a benefit of the doubt here. I think it's late in the next one where she's just like, I'm fucking done. Yeah.
And he tries to mansplain that, well, the measurements are foreign to you, and she's like,
bitch,
no, they're not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
But to Palin, there's never been any more than 0.1% variation. And Sam's like, yeah, but if there was a greater variation, it probably would have threatened the integrity of the force field.
Mm-hmm.
Jack and Teal'c...
It's like, of course not, because anything higher than this would make you unsafe. Would make you feel unsafe.
Uh-huh.
Got it.
So Jack and Teal'c are out walking to the mouth, and Kendrick runs up. He's really interested in leaving with them through the gate because Nevin deserves the chance to see more than this world can offer, to be an explorer and to see a sky and clouds that aren't an illusion.
Aww.
Which is enough for Jack. He's like, sounds good.
Yeah, protect sun. Got it.
So Sam radios in.
I need another sun fill-in, a sun substitute.
I was like a substitute.
He's due for one. Yeah.
So Sam has discovered something with the calculations. Jack and Teal'c have discovered something too, or I should say a lack of something. Aww. The mouth is no longer where they parked it. And Teal'c is mistrusting everyone this whole episode, and it's like, someone took the mouth.
Yeah, I love that. It's like our first casualty is Melpy.
Oh. Thankfully, Melpy's safe.
Good.
On Sam's end, she did all the math, and she's discovered that Dome has lost 4% power in 24 hours.
That's which is a lot of fucking power.
Huge decline.
Yeah.
And if it continues like this, the Dome will fail, and they have no clue how long, but everyone will die.
Mm.
And that's when everything goes black screen, pause mode. All the townspeople like freeze for a second. Vala, when they come to, Vala just stands up in a trance and leaves, which confuses Daniel.
Yeah.
Although the people outside are like already moving again, but they don't pay attention to her. So Sam can confirm the power levels are dropping. She's not sure that they could warn the townspeople that this is happening at all, though.
Mm-hmm.
She saw Palin look at the numbers. So Danielle continues to follow Ivala. She walks crooked through town, turns a corner, and disappears.
Yep.
Daniel tries opening the door that's locked, and in my head, I would love the idea of the actress walking through the door and then just holding the door closed as Shank like finds it being locked. But the brick wall at the end of the street is the edge of the dome.
It's
Daniel
platform 9 3/4, Daniel. You're a muggle.
You're a muggle, Daniel.
You don't get to come. Sorry.
You're a muggle, Daniel.
Sad. I promise I will be done with Harry Potter references after this summer.
Maybe. I won't be. Maybe. Come on.
Yeah.
So he retells the story to the team, and they are super not digging this link thing at all. Who knows what kind of mental manipulation he can do? And Daniel wants to help because these people don't even realize they're being held against their will.
Yeah.
So Teal'c wonders if they can disable the link. But it's really intertwined with the dome.
Right. If they disable the link and kill the dome, then they kill everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they could take the whole dome down if they fuck with it. But maybe they can hack it just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little baby
just
bit.
Just a little baby hack.
Just a little Sam chaotic good bit.
Yes. But she doesn't think she can do it without Palin's help. Yeah. So Dan is going to go look for some written down knowledge that will contradict the link. Maybe, for example, like the council meetings have more than 3 people.
Sure.
Meanwhile, Jack and Teal'c will radio in.
Yeah. I love the finesse that it's going to take this dome down. Because it's easy to just pull the power on something.
Yeah.
But to sort of pull the power on some things and leave the rest of the things, it's like going into a brain for surgery, I imagine, versus just, chopping something off completely.
And we're going to pause here on the audio, and we're going to continue the video because Kaylee needs to get fed real hardcore if she's going to continue barking.
Yeah.
In the background, I've heard her, pushing the food. Oh, the food bowl is halfway across the room.
She's like, give me food things.
I heard her shoving the
Give
food
me
bowl
food things.
all over.
This is my favorite part. Okay, this is where I get to use my analogies of things.
Yeah.
It's like the link is Mother Gothel, because the last thing I remember is Tangled, where it's like, look, Link knows best.
Link knows best.
It's not safe out there.
Link
and
knows
I was
best.
like, I know there's a million other versions of this, like, the internet.
Yeah.
But my brain went Mother Gothel and Rasputin. That's where my brain went.
That is the greatest. Mother Gothel and Rasputin.
Yeah. Also, they would be a good couple.
They
good as in they would work well together.
In quotation marks. Yeah. Alrighty, the dog is now fed and happy.
Yeah.
So on their way, they quickly run into Nevin, who's like, "Why are you going in that direction? The house is over here."
Yeah.
And
what?
And Teal'c's like, "You're wrong."
Here's the thing. I would be with Teal'c on this one because I know if there's one thing I'm good at, it's maps.
Yeah, I know.
And knowing my layout,
exactly.
knowing where I am. So if someone's like, "That's wrong," I'm like, "No, you're wrong. I don't care how long you've lived here.
Yeah.
You are wrong. And I am always right.
I'm going to scenic route, goddammit.
Yeah. No, and there's just something I believe. Look, this is maybe it's a flaw, whatever you want to call it. But I always know where I am.
You really love
There's
maps.
this really fucking strange thing.
Really
my
love
dad's
maps.
got the same thing, and it's got to be some sort of genetic thing. Our ancestors must have been some sort of journeyman.
Well, I can at least now. I'm. Someone's like, turn left, and I literally have to sometimes in my head put up the little hand signals.
Yeah.
Because and east and west is the same thing.
And see, I just always know where north is.
That's the thing. I do, however, always know which direction north is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which it took a little while when I moved from the West Coast to the East Coast for some reason, because of the oceans being where they are.
Yeah.
I was used to the ocean being on the same side, and then it wasn't anymore.
And now you have water on both sides of you.
Yeah, but so it took a minute, but it's like there's somehow I always know where the fuck I am.
Yeah.
So when Jill goes, "No, you're wrong," I'm totally with you.
Also, kids are gonna punk you whenever.
Sure, yeah.
Not all the time.
Yeah. No, you tiny small mind.
But it is the edge of the dome over there, this little Nevin says, and his house is the other way. So when they reach it, sure enough, it is Nevin's house, and there are their suits in the wrong place, because that's clearly where they did not sleep last night.
Yeah.
So Kendrick...
So, how do things get moved?
My inclination is that when the dome... because you can tell shrinks, people don't own a ton of things.
Right.
So when the dome is about to shrink, Kendrick they carried all their stuff into the new place.
Okay.
Because I think
without knowing that that's what they're doing.
They don't have a ton of like personal pictures and objects around there, so the place is still furnished.
See, it would never work for any of us.
No, it wouldn't work at all for us.
Hang on, it's gonna take a week to move all our shit inside her. And then we would be the people where it's like, where did my one tiny figurine that I'm looking for go?
I've done that.
I'm a little,
Where'd that one picture go?
Yeah, the one thing.
So Kendrick comes in and assures, and Jack's like, don't worry, we're going to go contact Earth, but we're not going to leave without you. Mm-hmm. And Kendrick's like, come again, Big Fudge? Yeah. Why would I leave? And he's like, remember that whole thing about wanting to live in a world where the sky isn't artificial?
Yeah, and he's like, I never wanted that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Where you can't take the sky from me?
No, dude. Yeah. You can't take this. Took me a second for that to compute. I'm so proud of you.
So, but he's like, no, you must be thinking of someone else. And Nevin proudly says that he wants to be a gardener like his father and not an explorer.
Fucking sad. There's nothing wrong with gardeners. Gardeners are great. I'm not a good gardener. But to go like, I'm just gonna be the thing that I already know.
Can we just pause? Mm-hmm. And when Grace said she's not a great gardener, now take the gardener that Grace is, and then take that way, way, way down further is the gardener that I am.
Gardening is tough. You know why it's tough? Because we're indoor kids, and we're like, fuck, I don't want to go back there.
Which is funny because the only place I can keep plants alive is in my hydro garden, in which case there is a light for it, and it waters itself.
That's what I mean. It's like, so my plants outside are like, dear God, see how hot you are? That's how hot we are.
I have to have...
Please, may I have some water?
Please, sir, may I have some more?
I look out the window from the AC and I'm like, I just can't do it.
I can't go water you right now because it's hot.
They're like, exactly why I need the water.
Can I water you from inside?
Idiot human.
I have any of my plants that survive outside. They make these terracotta like stakes that you can put the wine bottles in. Yeah. The only way my plants outside live is by having
don't use a lot of water, but some water. Some water would be good.
I'm pretty sure your aloe plant is that snarky because it came from my aloe plant that was already that snarky.
It's like shit, yeah.
I have put timers. I have put alarms on my watch that go off every morning to go out and water plants.
My problem's just it's either that or I'm like, or they're like, son.
No. But then I ignore the alarms.
You're like, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in keeping you alive. We're terrible humans.
We're so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so Teal'c and Jack try and convince the two of them that the link is fucking with their minds. Mm-hmm. They really need to get rid of the Cyberman implants.
Yeah.
And Kendrick's like, I can't even process thoughts.
Yeah.
In that.
Yeah, you're wrong.
And now apparently they are absolutely sure it is a fact if you disconnect yourself from the link, it will cause instant death.
Yeah, that's when it's like, whoa, dude, like, that's far.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the other thought. It's like, we know what happens actually, but it's like, what if the link actually had the power to be like, well, I'm just going to fucking kill you if I feel resistance? I'm
pretty sure it does.
Yeah.
It has connections into your brain. We don't know how the brain works. A little shock in the right place and you're dead.
Yeah. Fucking scary. Okay.
And Jack has officially overstayed his welcome. Mm-hmm. Sam is on her way to the control room, and Jack radios in. And it's like, things are getting weird.
Yeah.
Watch yourself.
Yeah.
Brace, check yourself.
Before you wreck yourself? Because shotgun bullets aren't bad for your health. Okay, I'm
done. So when she gets to the control room, Palin has finished the download, but he still doesn't see any power change. He does remember Sam being mistaken, though. And this is where Sam breaks.
She's like, listen, motherfucker.
And
I'm not wrong. I'm Sam.
And here's the thing. I see both sides of this. Obviously, I'm on Sam's side because she's right and Palin's wrong. But I can also, while I don't agree with it, see Palin's side. Like, he's obviously wrong, but his entire life, he has accessed everything on this link. It is such a part of their daily lives. He can't even... he can't even conceive of the idea. It doesn't compute that it would be wrong.
And in his mind, he's doing like the right thing by Sam. He's like, I gotta tell you that you're wrong here. And like, which is actually a more... It shows some integrity on his part because he truly believes that.
He does.
Whereas if he didn't have that, he'd be like, okay, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, and we're dying. Whatever.
And also, Sam's been here for less than a day.
Right.
You're the first visitors that's ever come here, and you just roll up and tell me that my entire life's work is wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, where do you think you're coming from?
But still, don't piss off the Sam.
Also, don't piss off the Sam because she is right. Yeah. And also, he doesn't know who Ovala is. Because he's never been married.
Makes me sad. Or like
they're both
Jack would be in pissed mode. Yeah. Whereas our Ravenclaws that we're working with are like, look, there's some sense behind this. I'm gonna figure out whatever this is. Whereas Jack would just be straight pissed.
Yeah.
He'd be like, fuck off.
Take the link off.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, because I've known since childhood that would kill me.
What? Yeah.
And she's like, well, Ivala removed it last night. And like, Sam's pretty sure at this point the computer makes changes and then updates everyone's memory so no one is the wiser. And Palin has to disconnect. You have to take the Cyberman implant off. And he's like, no, it's suicide.
I don't want to. It's safe in here.
And she's like, that's a lie that the link is telling you because I need you to help me reprogram the link.
You're no longer a baby elephant. You are stronger than this.
So Daniel runs down just then because he has something. Thank God for lawyers. When everyone else was linking it up, they were still using old-fashioned paper. And when the contract was made and everyone signs saying all of this land is communal, there was originally over 100,000 people living here.
Yep. Holy crap. To think that there's about 1,000 now?
Yeah.
Wowza.
Which Palin finds impossible. The dome isn't large enough for that. At least not anymore. And Sam has the horrible realization that the dome is compensating for the power loss by shrinking so it doesn't fail.
Yeah.
And that's where the Melp went. It didn't move. It's just now outside the dome. And
I love that. Melpy's like our little marker. He's like, look, this is where I stay all the time forever.
And Palin asks if there's that many people, if there were that many people here, where did they all go? And Sam and Daniel are just like, fuck.
Yeah, they are in the died place.
And their horrible realization is confirmed when we see Jack and Teal'c walking outside the dome in the fog, and there's just a ton of bodies and corpses and skeletons, and most of them are gone since the atmosphere is eating away at the bones.
Yeah.
And Jack finds a link device. Inside the dome, they're still trying to convince Palin. Sam is like, she understands why it's so hard for Palin to believe them. But Daniel points out that they couldn't fake these documents.
Right.
You know, they exist because the computer can't change them. And the link can make you, because you're part of the link, overlook them and not read them.
There are things that can be revised. That's the name of the show. And things that cannot.
Yeah. But they can't stop Daniel from seeing them, and they can't stop Daniel from bringing them so much to the prominence that
you can't stop the beat.
You can't stop the signal, Mal. In this case, you can stop the signal.
Dun, dun, dun.
And you can see Palin's brain like, computer overload, cannot process.
What
implosion imminent. And the computer is programmed to maintain the community. And the good of many outweigh the good of the one.
Oh.
It's not evil.
For the greater good.
It's just programmed that way.
One more Harry Potter reference.
I'm not evil. I'm just drawn that way. So Sam reaches out and takes Palin's link, and he doesn't die.
Yeah. And
so now they need his help.
I want someone to do the Buzz Lightyear reaction in this episode. No! I'm dying! I'm fine.
Good.
I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm not dead.
So later when
Two opportunities. Two missed opportunities. Okay, I'm done.
Jack and Teal'c are back in the dome, and they radio in. Palin is trying to hack the system for them.
Yeah.
And the system updates, and there are some really bad button mashing.
Yeah, this is not good times.
It's just like ugly button mashing.
Yeah.
And this update is bad. Now Kendrick and the others are going to go make Jack better because he's sick.
You are not good now. You are a bad colonel.
And the town square is empty and very horror filmy. And it's just
exterminate. Yeah. That's where we're at.
Yeah, but that's the Daleks.
I know it is, but it still works.
In this case, it's more upgrades.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
So Palin is unsure of himself without the link. This is that thing we were talking about where, the bad side of using technology for education, he hasn't had to learn things in the same way. Sam reassures him that, look, you have been doing this your entire life.
Yeah.
You can do this. You just have to remember the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. It's there. It's like riding a bike.
When Jack and Teal'c turn the corner, the whole town is just marching at them in a very... again, Doctor Whovian way.
Yeah, this is where we get ready.
Everywhere they turn, the Cybermen are coming for them. They get back to the corner that Ivala died in, and you can see the dome has actually moved further inwards when Teal'c hits it. Jack and Teal'c stand ready to defend themselves if necessary, and Kendrick offers them a link device each to make them feel better.
Yeah, it's almost creepier that he's like, you need help. Yeah. Like, come play with us, as opposed to just attack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's pretty creepy.
And he's like, now would be a good time, Sam.
Yeah, anytime now.
Palin just makes it into the system, and for time's sake, Sam tells him to just erase all memory of SG-1.
Yeah.
The town people are inching closer and closer and not good, and that's when the update starts. And then when they come to, it's worked. They don't remember Jack at all or why they're gathered here, and it's back to strangers for the first time in hundreds of years.
Oh.
So later, there's lots of reinforcements from Earth. They are gearing everyone up in hazmat suits to take them through the gate to resettle them somewhere where there's a real sky and shit. No one has links on.
Good.
And Sam tells Palin that apparently the geothermal vent started cooling 200 years ago. And the dome started shrinking after that. And yes, I did some very rough math. If they have a year like ours, 365 days, if I did the math right, that's 73,000 days in 200 years.
Okay.
Which doesn't seem right at all. But, and if you had 100,000 people disappear, that's almost 10 people a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
365 times 2,000. Yeah, no, you're right. 73,000.
So 73,000 days in 200 years, and if you had 1,000 people disappear, almost 10 people a week disappearing.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, then are they going in batches?
Especially because you're starting with 10,000, which is not that many.
100,000.
Right, 10, right, 100,000. Yeah. It's still not that many.
No. Are you like just taking out whole families at a time?
Because what's 100,000 people? Like, is that how many there are, like, Walt Disney World Resort? I don't know.
That's a good question. I was going to look up a reference.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine 10 people disappearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nuts.
So, and Palin still doesn't remember Ivala. I guess they couldn't roll back. There's no backup, I guess.
Well, of course not. I mean, why would the link need to do that?
Yeah, and he envies the others because everyone else has lost people, but they don't remember it.
Yeah, that's quite a concept.
And here,
it's very Eternal Sunshiny.
It is, but he doesn't necessarily remember it either. He was just told.
Yeah, well, he knows that he doesn't remember.
He knows.
Yeah.
And he's like, how do you mourn someone when you don't even know their face?
Oh.
Yeah.
This part's nice though, this little end part. And I love that he comes up with it himself.
Yeah, and Sam's like, I really wish I could help. And he's like, well, you can tell me about her.
Yeah. Look, the Sam curse is so strong. That Black Widow curse, that even if you're not directly in love with Sam, you get too close to Sam, something you love is going away. That's all I gotta say about that.
Oh, that's
but I do love the tell me about her. Yeah. Be careful.
And also, I also want him to go. Daniel, can you come do this for me because I met her like once.
Can you come start the support group? Yeah,
I met Ivana like once.
Yeah. I mean, she was like not tall, but not short.
But also, it's like how, and I get. He's not expecting to have a full story, but like Sam and Daniel knew her for like less than a day.
Yeah, but they could be like, she told us this story. She wasn't afraid to take off the link. Whatever she did, she was proud of your work.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
I like this episode. You're right. It's just a very like Planet of the Week style episode, but it was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun, and I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Next episode, it's called Lifeboat.
Lifeboat.
And oh man. Are you going to like lifeboats?
I'm going to put on my life jacket and get in the lifeboat.
It's a Grace episode.
Let's do this.
It's a Grace episode.
Guys, thanks so much for sticking through this with us.
Yeah, we got all the philosophical points done at the beginning of the episode instead of at the end of the episode.
It just kind of worked out that way.
It did.
Yeah. I really like this. Really had fun with it. It's definitely on my list. We're only like episode 5? We're 5 episodes in. So
should we start making our rankings here?
I mean, officially everything in the episode is on the ranking.
Yeah, it is.
So maybe next week we'll decide what bumps out.
Alrighty, we'll do that. We'll start this next week.
But as always, until then, find us on Twitter at Terra Podcast.
Facebook at There's No Place Like Terra.
You can email us at there's no place like Terra @gmail.com.
You can find us at Patreon at patreon.com/there's no place like Terra. Rate us, like us, review us on iTunes and on Apple Podcasts. Kaylee asks you to as well.
Don't be baby elephants. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Cool. You're so annoying.
Plenty of time. I don't have to be at lunch till 1:30. So